Yo, what's going on? It's Sawk here, and today I'm bringing you guys my PCL Week 5 match against Garchomp the God, aka Austin. He's the commissioner of the PCL, so be sure to go check him out, as he is one of the coolest dudes in this league. Now, as you guys saw in my team builder here, he does have a very scary team, and this is not exactly what I expected to come, but a majority of what I expected to come. The Mantine really wasn't something I thought about. However, I could see it coming. So, if you guys don't know my team, be sure to check out yesterday's team builder video guide about what I'm bringing and why. So, just a quick refresher, I am bringing a ICMZ Crawdot in order to knock out that Zygarde, which, as you can see, came. I'm running a physically defensive Bewear to help check that Zygarde because a +2 Zygarde outraged Okos. However, a +1 Adamant Choice Band 1,000 Arrows, if he somehow manages to get that up, still does not KO Bewear. Through Unnerve, I also am Unnerved just because I don't like berries. I have Scarf Trick Blacephalon, Defensive Rotom Heat, Toxic Stealth Rock Garchomp, and a Spadef Xatu. Now, going into this game, I realized this was originally on Wi-Fi, and we disconnected about halfway through. So the first 25 turns or so are just us recreating. So I decided I wanted my Rocks up right away to help pressure that Mantine and that Pinsir when it comes on it. It also gets nice chip damage off on Zygarde and Manaphy, and it also chips away at the Tangrowth even though it resists it. It's just nice residual chip damage. Make sure Pinsir can't come in, hit something hard like return something, and then swap out. Same with Mantine, it can't just continuously swap in, it will get whittled down by the rocks. So that is exactly what I did, as he does lead with his Pinsir. Now again, first turn Mega Roll, so I'm just going to throw off my Stealth Rocks here as he does click Substitute. Now, this is a very interesting set. I'm like, oh crap, he's sub DD. I need to break these rocks right away as I just get up my rocks. Now, I had to click Dragon Tail here because I can't hit Toxic. And my other move, I believe it was Toxic, Stealth Rock, Dragon Tail, and Earthquake. And Earthquake cannot touch this. I've already got my rocks up. Toxic will not hit this thing because it's on the sub. So I have to pray ahead of Dragon Tail. So he is going to get up his own rock. So he is sub rocks. Mega Pinsir, and this threw me off guard, especially on Wi-Fi, because I was just like, what the hell's going on here? Now, this is going to be an interesting turn. As we can see, he swaps right into Tangrowth here. Originally, I Dragon Tailed and got off damage on the Mega Pinsir, and it drew him into Tangrowth, but I just get my rocks up here representing that play. Like I said, originally I Dragon Tailed, drawing him into Tangrowth. So he is going to get a little bit of leftovers back, revealing he has a leftovers bulkier set. I am going to go into my Xatu here, predicting a knockoff coming in. If he does knockoff here, it's whatever. I live. If he spores or if he toxics, it goes right back onto him. As he does try to sleep powder me, I bounce that back on him because he is a grass type. He is immune, which is pretty nice for him. So I know he's sleep powder, so I know he is not assault vest. So I know by that he's got to be physically defensive. So it's probably one of his best answers. I do click Defog here because I don't want these rocks on my side of the field, especially for Rotom Heat and Blacephalon coming on in every once in a while. As he does click knock off himself. As you guys can see, I do live on 16 HP. He does knock off my Wiki Berry, my 50% berry. But because it only did 60 with the plus 1.5% boost from the knockoff, I know I can live the next one. So with that, he does get his leftovers back, and I will, on the next turn, decide I'm going to click Roost here. I'm going to get my 50% back, getting some roosting action going on as he does click Hidden Power. And because I roosted, I realized that I don't have the Ice type, so he's definitely HP Ice. However, it only did 16%, so which means it'd do about probably 40% maximum with the Flying type with the plus bonus. So I'm realizing, okay, if it does 40 and knockoff is only going to do about 40, I could roost all this thing and eventually wear it out. So I am going to roost up here, back up to full HP, as he is going to knock off here, reveal it. This does 45%, and I know I can roost all this. So he is going to go into his Zygarde here, trying to be very aggressive. I clicked U-turn originally on this play. As you guys can see, I do click U-turn as well, trying to get some chip damage off, knowing that this Tangrowth's not going to do a lot. I can U-turn, I can go into something that will check it, or if he does switch out like he did, he goes to the Zygarde. Now because I U-turn, I can get in my best check to this thing, which is my Bewear. A Choice Banded 1,000 Arrows does not 2-hit KO this thing, so I am very much free to fire off an Ice Punch, which is exactly what I do, as I do 20%-ish, and the Mantine reveals leftovers to get back to just over 85%. Now, I know I can't let Bewear take any unnecessary damage because it has to check Zygarde. So I knew my play was going into my mixtape Rotom Heat. Even if he does Scald, which he does, it's fine. It does half, however, I can't pressure this thing with Volt Switch. So thinking this is where I get my leftovers back, and I had to think about this turn. Now, I know his next Scald won't kill me because it did 50. And so if it does 50 again, I'll be at 5 HP and I can't get burned, so I will be fine to live any hit. I know I outspeed this thing because of my Rotom just being a quick boy. So thinking he's going to want to predict me to go for Volt Switch, I'm going to predict his Zygarde coming in, and I'm going to Will-O-Wisp that thing. So if I can get Zygarde burned, that's one of his big hitters gone out of the match. He does get his leftovers back, and as you can see, I do Will-O-Wisp as he does stay in. And he Scalds, I go down to 8%, he gets a lower roll than last time, and I do get some HP back. Now I'm thinking, alright, interesting play. He lets his Mantine possibly take a Volt Switch that could have nearly knocked it out if I was specially offensive, which is weird. So he's just wanting to sack the Mantine, which is one of his best Bewears, Garchomp, and Crawdon answers. I was thinking for a little bit, I decided, I'm just going to Pain Split here. I'm faster than this thing, I can get back up to over half HP, as he does go Tangrowth here. And because of Rotom's low base HP of 50, I do a decent chunk to this Tangrowth, ensuring that I have a little bit of damage off on it. I am going to get my leftovers back, as he does as well. Now, knowing this one, I am just going to Volt Switch here, just getting momentum. I can go into Blacephalon on this Tangrowth, as he does go back into Mantine, taking that Volt Switch. I'm going to go into my Blacephalon here. No, I scare this thing out. Now, I was debating on what move I wanted to go for, and I was running the calcs in, again, this is still on Wi-Fi when we were playing. We were, I want to say about 20 minutes through when this turn happened. So I was still running calcs, my heart was racing, and I was getting a lot of nerves to say. So I'm thinking, alright, if I Fire Blast here, I'm Scarfed into Fire Blast, and Manaphy comes in, and it sets up a Tail Glow, and it kind of wins. If I Shadow Ball here, Manaphy doesn't want to come in on that necessarily because of the Spadef drop chance, but I'm going to have to swap out anyway. If I click Shadow Ball, Magearna takes neutral, Tangrowth takes neutral if it comes on in, Zygarde takes neutral, which is important. So I think my play here is Shadow Ball, which is exactly what I'm going to do. As you guys can see, I do click that Scarf Shadow Ball. It does crit, however, it does not matter. This is a Blacephalon coming at you, so that crit did not matter whatsoever. I'm going to get that special attack boost as he's going to go into his Manaphy to Captain. Realizing I cannot stay in on this whatsoever, I do go into my Xatu here, as he does just fire off a Scald. It does 31%, as my Wiki Berry is gone, and Xatu will just bite the dust here, as Xatu is the first one to go down in this game. Now, I do go to my Rotom Heat here, making him not want to stay in because of the Volt Switch possibility, the Discharge possibility, the ability to just stop this thing cold. I am going to scout for the Z-move because this thing is a Z-move Mon. So I wanted to make sure that my Rotom Heat was not going to get bopped by a Z-move, so I protected scouting for the Z-move because I figured if he has it, he'd want to throw it off right away. As he just does go for the Scald, I'm thinking, alright, maybe he isn't Z-move, maybe he's like a defensive Manaphy, per se. So on this turn, he Scalds again, and that is 63%. That is definitely, it has some special offense. However, I don't remember its true set. I am going to Pain Split here, knowing I can live any one hit it wants to go for besides that Z-move. And if it is Z-move, I can just go into something else and start nuking. So I do get the Pain Split up here. I go back up to 83%, as he is going to go into his Zygarde on this, which is a really nice play as I click Protect, trying to scout for that Z-move once again. I do get a little bit of leftovers back, as I do go right into my Bewear here, knowing this is my best check to it. Get that Unnerve off so he cannot be Yachi Berry. He does get the +1 revealing he's not banded, but the banded Outrage still does not KO because Bewear's a big boy. I am going to click Roar, getting that Pokemon out of here, making sure that it cannot set up in my face anymore, as it does go into Mega Pinsir, which really doesn't matter at this point. I do believe I roared him into Tangrowth. Yeah, originally he was Tangrowth. I roared him into Tangrowth, and I went Chomp. Now, he originally missed a Sleep Powder on this turn when he was trying to put my Bewear to sleep. But I did double into Garchomp as my play. He missed a Sleep Powder, and so this is kind of a neutral turn. He gets back his leftovers, so it was kind of a wash of a turn. So, this is originally the turn where we disconnected. As I Toxiced on his knockoff, I get the Rough Skin up, the Rocky Helmet takes, I knock on my Rocky Helmet, and this is where we disconnected. So from here on, we played on Showdown, so this is from all new stuff. As I Stealth Rock on his Giga Drain, as he gets a little bit of HP back, and I'm thinking, alright, So I need to make sure this thing gets whittled down. Because if this thing's alive, it makes my Crawdon's job a lot harder, it makes Bewear's job a lot harder, it makes Blacephalon's job a lot harder, knowing that this thing could take Shadow Balls, and I really just want to click Fire Blast from now on, because Magearna does not want to take it, Mega Pinsir definitely doesn't want to take it, especially since I have Rocks up on the field, and his Defogger is down. He does not have Rocks up, so Mega Pinsir will be taken down to 25%, and I don't think he wants to use one of his last moves in order to get that up. However, we don't know yet. I am an Earthquake just whittling this thing down, trying to make sure this thing does not get as much HP as possible. He's going to Giga Drain, trying to get some HP back. The leftovers will pop, but the Toxic is going to start wearing him down really hard. As Garchomp is going to go to sleep here. As I did click Dragon Tail, just trying to get damage off, maybe shuffle his team around. He does take 23 from the Toxic this time. And he is going to go into his Manaphy here. As I do wake up, and I do miss a Dragon Tail, which is unfortunate, because I could have possibly gotten him back into Pinsir, Zygarde, something else. So it didn't matter in the honest part. However, I knew on this turn I had to collect Toxic. I cannot let this thing set up for a long time. And because of his Z-Rain Dance, it is a really big threat. So he is just going to Scald here. Clicking that is I do click, I click Dragon Tail, predicting the Tail Glow to get the +3 attack, because I know if he clicks Tail Glow, or if he clicks his Z-Rain Dance, he loses that speed boost, he loses his Water Gun Z, and if he just zoomed me and got me out, oh well, he did not set up in my face. So Garchomp doing its job, shuffling the team around, his Manaphy goes down to 25%. He does get in his Zygarde here, and I do outspeed the Zygarde by a point or two if I'm not mistaken, and I knew my play here was a Dragon Tail. However, going into Austin's mind here, Garchomp the God, I do think, okay, so if I'm Austin, I'm Garchomp, I want to make sure that my Zygarde's at a good amount of health, and I cannot be Toxic, because if I'm Toxic, I lose the game, because Bewear can outstall me, Crawdon can Aqua Jet me, Blacephalon outspeeds at +1, and it's not a good time. So I need to make sure I kill this Garchomp, because if I get Toxic, it's game over. So on my end, I'm thinking, okay, I have to Dragon Tail here, because this means that if he sets up and I hit Dragon Tail, it's gone. It takes a lot of damage because it's super effective. Stab freaking Garchomp, and he does not set up. So my play here every time was to click Dragon Tail. Even though Toxic was a solid play as well, Dragon Tail's is a better play, because if he set up, he takes more chip damage instead of whittling down slowly. So he does click Extreme Speed, just knocks me out with my Garchomp here, as Garchomp, as you guys can see in a second, will drop. That Rough Skin does pop, but Garchomp will go down. Now, I do go Bewear here, knowing that +1 Outrage did 40%, so I can live any hit he wants to go for. And with my Unnerve, he cannot eat Yachi Berry, he cannot be Wiki Berry, he cannot be Papa, Figgy, whatever it wants to be. This Ice Punch is about to do a metric butt ton, as he does swap into Manaphy here. As Manaphy will take that 12% rocks damage, that Ice Punch will knock it out. So Bewear killed Manaphy. How about that, folks? As Bewear, the MVP, is going to start getting those chants going in the crowd. Garchomp literally in chat said stupid bear, as you guys can see on the thumbnail. He does go into his Tangrowth here, and Bewear has done his job. Zygarde is at a low enough HP where Crawdon can kill it with Aqua Jet when it comes in next time, and Blacephalon can outspeed it, and Rotom Heat's at enough HP where I can also take it on. I'm just going to Ice Punch this Tangrowth, as he is going to knock me off. He does crit me, which does not matter a lot. I do lose my leftovers, which is sad. However, I just need to wear down this Tangrowth, because if I wear down this Tangrowth, my Crawdon can just outright win at this point. So I do Drain Punch, trying to get some HP back, just trying to wear this thing down as much as I possibly can, as he does get that toxic damage. I Ice Punch one time to get it down to 2%, and because of this, the Giga Drain does knock Bewear out, as we guys can see right here. Down goes Bewear. However, the Toxic will also take down the Tangrowth, so Tangrowth goes down as well, as we can see right there. So this is a interesting turn. This is the turn that literally makes the game win or loss for me. I have 3 Pokemon left, he has 3 Pokemon left. He has Magearna, which is not shown any set, which I believe to be Shift Gear. He has Dragon and Zygarde, and he has a Mega Pinsir that's going to come in and be about 25% after Rocks damage. So, looking at each one of my Pokemon, if I go Blacephalon, and he goes Zygarde, I have to trick it. So, and I would die to 1,000 arrows, and there goes one of my win conditions, so I can't let that happen. Rotom Heat is a decent play, however, it just gives Magearna a free setup because I don't have much for it. So, Crawdon, if I send that out, I can Aqua Jet kill the Mega Pinsir from 25%-ish. I can Crab Hammer the Magearna to make sure it stays whittled down so Blacephalon can Scarf outspeed it after the Shift Gear. And if he goes Zygarde, I can toss off my Icinium Z and nuke that thing. So I knew Crawdon was the safest play and my best bet if I wanted to win this game, as he does go Mega Pinsir. Now, I do not agree with this play, because Mega Pinsir dies to an Aqua Jet here, so you're just throwing out your Mega Pinsir here, not even using Quick Attack even to try to get off more chip damage. If he would have Magearna here, he has a chance, because if I Crab Hammered here and I don't crit, I just get regular Crab Hammer damage off. It does about 60%. He can shift gear once, outspeed me, Dazzling Gleam me, and I'm in a bad position, especially if I miss. So I think Magearna was certainly the play here, because it could have won him the game and kept Mega Pinsir alive to get damage off on Blacephalon, where Blacephalon dies to a Quick Attack from Mega Pinsir. I hope that made sense. So basically, on his side of the ball, he needed to keep Mega Pinsir alive in order to help check this Crawdon and also check Blacephalon with priority Quick Attack and or return stab / earthquake / close combat, whatever coverage he was packing. Zygarde definitely was a play that could happen, however, it lost if I say was like Crab Hammer on Zygarde and the Zygarde just dropped, which I think is a good play, not going Zygarde, but like I said, the Magearna was definitely the play here. So he's going to go into his Beelzebub. I'm going to Aqua Jet and KO it, as Portland, the Crawdon will pick up a kill of its own. As next up here, the Zygarde does come on in, and this is when the meme is born. He does go for the Outrage. I do live on 18%. I do go for the Icinium Z Sub-Zero Slammer, and that Zygarde just drops outright flat as Zygarde goes down, and now Magearna's up. Now, I can lose this game still if Magearna does get 2 Shift Gears up. So my play, first and foremost, is to make sure this thing does not have its item. So he Shift Gears up as I knock off. I cannot let this thing have any item what it is. It is a Shuka Berry, which is very good knowledge to have. It was probably for Zygarde, so I can set up on that. Not Zygarde, my Garchomp. Now, knowing this, I cannot let this thing set up again. I could not safely swap into my Rotom Heat at 88%. I cannot swap in my Blacephalon even though it's at full HP. I had to keep with Crawdon here, because if I go to Blacephalon and Shift Gears again, it's over, outright. He can Flash Cannon me, he can do whatever, he can like Hidden Power Dark me, whatever he needs to do to KO me. So I have to attack this Magearna, and if he does set up again, Crab Hammer has a chance of killing here, and if it does not kill, it drops it down to like 5%, and Aqua Jet can kill it from here. So I have to attack this Magearna. I cannot let it set up even more, which is exactly what I plan on doing. He does Dazzling Gleam here, killing the Crawdon, realizing that I'm just going to stay in. I have to sack this off, as Crawdon will go down. Now I can safely go into my Blacephalon here that outspeeds a +2 Timid Magearna, and Boxcar will hit the Fire Blast, knock out the Magearna. As Magearna drops, and your Minnesota Twin Needles will win the battle over Garchomp the God, and go to 2-3 -4 differential. So that was an amazing game, Garchomp. GG, very much GG. Be sure to check out Garchomp the God. His links will be down below. This was a very, very solid win. It's good to get back in the win column. Next week we do play, odds are, the GFX God of the league. So it's going to be an interesting team. He has a very, very scary team, notably Dragonite just for one. So with that, I thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like the video, comment what you liked about the video, what you didn't like, give me some feedback. And with that, I think I'm out of here for today, guys. Peace out, Scouts.